So this session is the event marketing playbook for 2023, and it's being held by Asley Hamilton, who's the head of paid media at Tag Digital. So welcome, Asley.
Hello. I'm hoping you guys can all hear me. I'm Asley. Thanks for the introduction. I am paid media, head of paid media, at Tag Digital. For those of you who haven't heard of Tag Digital, we specialise in paid media specifically for the event sector. And when I talk about paid media, this is advertising on paid placements, commonly known as social, search and display. At Tag, we work on around 2,000 events annually, and every year we benchmark 100,000 campaigns to really understand what's good. So my goal for the next 20, 30 minutes or so is to share my knowledge and tips on the latest strategies and innovations on paid media. First up though, I wanted to gauge your thoughts on something. Change. Can you raise your hand if you would consider yourself to be scared of change? Okay, that's good. It can sometimes be like a little bit scary. And now can you raise your hand if you would consider change as a good thing? Amazing. Okay, that's great. So if you asked me this question when I first started my career in digital marketing around 7 years ago, my hand would have been straight up there alongside those of you who considered yourself to be somewhat scared of change. I have since learned to embrace change, and I wanted to share with you my shift in mindset alongside this. So a huge part of that comes down to how fast-paced the digital marketing industry is. If we were still running campaigns like we used to 7 years ago, we'd probably be doing more damage than good. So when it comes to change, it's important to consider the full picture, which can normally start with one of two routes. So first up, there's either a problem and change is required, or there's an innovation that can mean we can do things better than what we know this far. So by thinking of the full picture, you're able to gather all the information you need to make the right decision for the change required. And when it comes to innovations on the platforms, this is the exact approach we instill at Tag Digital to research and to test. And with this in mind, we can move on to talk about some of the latest innovations and strategies within paid media. So I've already mentioned that the speed of the industry is very, very fast. There's constantly updates being rolled out across the platforms, new betas, updates, and there's also new platforms to explore. And there's even things just being renamed, because there's never enough marketing jargon, is there? At Tag Digital, we explore all of the betas and research them as solutions and then discuss them with our clients. So I'm going to talk you through 8 innovations and strategies that I think you need to know about. And yes, I said 8, so hang on tight. First up, can I ask how many of you are using video assets within your marketing strategy? Okay, that's about half, that's good. This leads me on to my first point, which is to maximise video assets with a full funnel strategy. So not only is video an amazing way to demonstrate how good your event is, kind of show everyone what it's all about, it's also the largest growing content asset. Google have actually quoted that 82% of their business and consumer internet traffic will come from videos, which is just massive when you think about it. That's 82% of everything. So when it comes to the videos we're using or in our campaigns, we're also seeing them to continue to outperform still images as well. On average across our events, or accounts rather, click-through rate, which is how many people are clicking on your ads, is 75% higher on video than on single images. The cost per those clicks is also 7% lower on video than on still images. And we're also seeing YouTube outperform the Google Display Network when we're targeting the same audience time and time again. But not only do we need to be using video, we need to be rethinking how we're using it. The approach that one video fits all of our audiences is no longer good enough. We need to be thinking about targeting our audience with the right message at the right time based on where they are in the funnel. This is the same approach that we use for our search and social campaigns, so it only makes sense that we instill the same logic with video, especially due to the scale and growth. So how can we do this? I put aside a couple of slides, or a slide here on the video funnel, just as an example that kind of goes through the marketing funnel that we more commonly know. So at the top, you have the awareness phase. So people in this kind of stage of the funnel, they don't know you have an event, they don't know it exists. So you need to educate them and answer the question, what is this event, what it's all about? Examples of video that can be good at this stage might be a short highlights video from the previous year to give a good overview of what they can expect from your event. Moving down to the consideration stage, these are people who are looking for an event but are still weighing up their options. And this is where you really need to show off and kind of educate them on like why they must attend your event specifically. Here you can focus on your extended USPs to really overwhelm your audience. Examples of videos you can use here might be something like a testimonial video or interviews with exhibitors or visitors. Next, we have the bottom of the funnel, which is your action stage, which you really need to reinforce your message to remind people why they can't miss out and why they should attend. Videos here should be short and snappy. Key speakers or stats are good to reinforce that wow factor. But essentially, by having a multiple video strategy, you can ensure your users are constantly seeing new content from you. And with paid media, we can create audience pools specific for your audience that have seen the first video to retarget them with the second video in the engagement stage. So there's a lot of things to think about when it comes to video. At Tag Digital, we do have a video creation team to help out all of our organisers, and there's also other helping hands out there as well. This leads me nicely on to the next innovation for you to consider, and another reason why you should be prioritising video in your marketing efforts. And it's Meta's fastest growing content format called Facebook Reel Ads. So you might be more familiar with seeing this ad type on Instagram, which is where they were first rolled out as a way to directly combat TikTok. But due to their success on that platform, Meta have now introduced these as an ad type on Facebook. They are now Facebook's fastest growing ad format, and they continue to be the biggest contributor to growth on Instagram. Another important thing to note about video on Facebook is that there's about 8 million videos viewed every single day. And as you can imagine, most of these views are happening on mobile. So if you want to compete for views, you need to be creating mobile-first video content. So to summarise on Facebook, you need to be thinking about how you can tap into this new ad type due to the volume and scale and success. And you also need to be focusing on mobile in mind when creating video. Next up is arguably the hottest platform right now. TikTok is a hard platform to ignore. Can I have a quick raise of hands for anyone that's using TikTok in their marketing just now? Cool. That's great. Did you know that in 2021, TikTok had more traffic than Google? Is that not like a little bit crazy to think? Search engine marketing is my bread and butter, so that's a pretty hard stat for me to swallow. There's still doubt, of course, about whether TikTok is the right platform for the events industry and the B2B industry in general. But if we think back to when Facebook and Instagram just started, they were very much B2C, and they're now hugely successful for B2B. Something else, if that's not good enough to kind of sway you a little bit, is that due to the popularity of TikTok, there's no other video app on more mobiles than TikTok right now. Which means there's no other app that has a bigger reach. So it's a no-brainer to be tapping into TikTok if you can. In 2022, there's all demographics and industries on TikTok as well. And they've also released their insights research tool, which you can see here. And it allows you to find out more about your audience, how they feel about brands on the platform, and how they wish to connect. So do your research using this tool, find out if your audience is there, and ask yourself, is it time to learn that dance routine after all? Sorry, I'm just checking all my videos are going to work. So yeah, joking aside, one of the main things that gets asked when we're talking to our event organisers is what type of content should we be using on TikTok? One of the biggest challenges is having up-to-date video all the time. So I wanted to share an example of a video that we've seen success on through TikTok. I've just realised I don't think the sound was on for that, so apologies, but imagine it was very jazzy. Sorry about that. So moving on to LinkedIn, we all know it's a powerful B2B tool. It's made improvements with its targeting, and it's also now got a business manager, finally. One of the innovations that LinkedIn's rolled out is LinkedIn document ads. This new ad type allows you to upload your documents to the platform, which allows your audience to view and download them directly from their newsfeed. With this ad type, you can leverage your content library, so you can build awareness with post-show reports or white papers, or drive engagement with customer testimonials and case studies. And this can all be done directly on the platform. Means it's super easy and seamless for users. You also have the choice whether to share this freely or is gated with name and email. Also, for those of you not thinking about data building campaigns, I would strongly encourage you to do so. It's a key aspect to building your brand, so rather than just reaching out to users in the lead up to the event, why not consider a year-round strategy so you continue that conversation, which is a really important part of marketing. Okay, we've made it halfway through the innovations, so I've got a little prize giveaway, just a little bit of fun to kind of keep us all engaged. Something that's a huge focus on technology today is the drive of automation, and something that machines are struggling with is to recognise the difference between pictures. So I've got a goodie bag with some free merch for the winner, so whoever wins can come up at the end. But my question for you is, how many of the squares in this picture have dogs in them? If you can pop your hand up when you know the answer. Okay, I think you were first. 8 is correct, yes. Well done. Yeah, you can come up and get your goodie bag at the end. So yeah, just a little bit of fun, and just for everyone's reference, the machines are now at like 90% accuracy on images like this, so they are getting smarter, but they still need us. Which leads me on slightly to the fifth point, which is to harness machine learning with Google. So one of the biggest innovations released out of BISA in 2022 is Performance Max. This is a new campaign type that's goal-focused and is designed to complement your keyword campaigns. So basically what it is, within a single campaign, you can specify your audience targeting, you can upload all of your text, image, video assets, and then serve them across all of Google's inventory, which you can see here as YouTube, Display, Search, Discover, Gmail, and Maps. As marketers, we're familiar with the increasing touch points that users have before converting. So there are multiple devices or across multiple sources. For some purchases, that journey is as long as 500 touch points before they make a decision. So it's huge. Performance Max offers a good solution for this. They use automation to reach your audience, no matter where they are across the Google platforms. And also it's focused on goals, so it's focused on a conversion purpose. So there's that drive there to get the return. We're a Google Premier Partner at Tag Digital, so we've received early access to the BISA, and we've been running and testing Performance Max for the last year or so across some of our event campaigns. And this case study that I wanted to share with you was for a hospitality event in the UK, and the objective here was to drive visitor registrations. We've seen some really strong results from the campaigns, and Performance Max was a brilliant addition. So Performance Max achieved 31% of visitor registrations and was the second best performing campaign after branded search. Branded search is typically your top performing campaign because it's those users that know about your event. They're typically low hanging fruit. But not only did Performance Max perform in terms of the volume of conversions, it also received an incredibly low cost per acquisition, like 52 pence. This is actually 28% lower than the branded search campaign, which is normally unheard of. So if you're not running Performance Max, I would recommend you to give them a go. Next up is programmatic advertising, and in particular, I've got one channel for you to consider. But first, a quick overview of programmatic for anyone that's not aware. Programmatic advertising is the automated process of buying and selling ad inventory through an exchange which connects advertisers to the publishers, opposed to the manual process of buying directly from publishers. Programmatic advertising includes ad slots for digital out of home, which include digital billboards, streaming, TV, video, and voice ads. It's continuously on the rise and is one of the most powerful digital marketing channels that you can use. Just this year, the UK was reported third in the world as a region advertising on programmatic. Previously, programmatic has been kind of reserved for larger budget campaigns, but there are now a lot more accessible platforms, meaning the smaller brands have the ability to compete in this sector. So one of the biggest reasons why programmatic is so popular is you can advertise on some of the well-known sought-after placements such as CNN, New York Post and Vogue, just as some examples here with some display ads. But more than that, you can also specify your ad placements, but you can add on your audience targeting there as well, so you can layer to make sure you're reaching your target audience. Programmatic's reach makes it more powerful than Google. So programmatic uses Google Ad Inventory as well as 90 plus additional ad exchanges and over 40 video exchanges. So how that really relays is while Google's display network reaches approximately 10 billion impressions per week, programmatic serves 90 billion impressions per day. So the reach is just absolutely massive. I've got a case study here as well from an event we ran in the Middle East called Big Five Sided by DMG. And for this campaign, we actually tested programmatic against Google Display. It was a 12-week event campaign, and the objective was for visitor reg as well. So here you can see, quite interestingly, that the clicks across the two platforms are very similar. However, the reach is the main big difference. So programmatic achieved 11 million impressions compared to the 1.7 million on Google. So it's a huge difference, and that's really talking about the mass reach that we were just talking about as well. On top of that, though, they also achieved 2.8 thousand visitor registrations on programmatic compared to 800 on display. So again, a huge increase. In fact, I think I calculated it as 2.5% more. So this is down to the high detailed quality targeting that you can do on programmatic. So essentially, programmatic offers huge scale for reach, enhanced features, premium inventory and targeting. It also offers data-driven insights that help inform you where best to spend your marketing budget. So as well as the power of programmatic in general, I wanted to talk to you about connected TV, because the oldest screen in the house is new again. Connected TV advertising is ads that can be placed on any TV or device that can connect to the internet and access video streaming content. So you can see I've popped up a few examples here, which is Fox News, CBS and Sky Media. So there's a huge opportunity for awareness on these massive channels. Again, TV advertising is normally out of reach for event organisers due to it being so expensive. You can't guarantee your audience will see it, and there's also limited measurement on return. But with connected TV, you can do this by applying your audience targeting behind your ad placements. And because of this, connected TV is on the rise, with 60% of digital buyers moving their traditional TV budgets to connected TV in 2022. So this is definitely a new programmatic channel to consider. And in our industry, it really helps to innovate. So our audience are constantly evolving how they engage and search. So as marketers, it's important that we consider and do the same. So a quick question, who here is using Google Analytics 4? One person, is that, are you even not sure? Okay, so the rest of you, I guess, are avoiding it like the plague or have no idea what I'm talking about. So this, of course, leads me on to my last topic. It couldn't be a digital marketing session in 2022 without mentioning Google Analytics 4, which is the next generation of Google Analytics for those of you who aren't aware. So what does it do, or what's the purpose of it? So it aims to serve the measurement needs of a privacy-centric, cookieless future, and it has several advantages over universal analytics, which includes the privacy focus and durability for the future. It's also intelligent, using machine learning to discover insights, and also connecting that customer journey across platforms and devices. It offers enhanced seamless integration with Google Ads, which allow you to optimise your campaign performance and also deliver that greater reach on your marketing. So, without sounding too dramatic, those of you, everybody apart from that one girl, you need to kind of be acting now. We're already too late, especially for your year-on-year data. So I've got a couple of steps for those of you who haven't yet applied GA4 to your website. So step 1 is easy. Create your GA4 property and start collecting your data ASAP. Step 2 is to migrate all that you already have in Universal Analytics into GA4. It's also a really good time to consider the purpose of your website, what are the main goals that you want your visitors to do on that website, and you can kind of revamp that in GA4. And then the third point is to start using and start learning it, because we have 8 months until it's the only option unless you want to use Adobe. So we have to kind of start using it now. And if you're completely freaking out, Tag Digital do have a team of expertise who can take the pain away of setting that up for you, so reach out and we can help as well. Cool, we have reached the end, so just a quick summary. So what have we learned? So we need to prioritise video and use the marketing funnel to maximise performance here. We need to adopt new social platforms and the ad types that they're offering. We need to innovate with Google and embrace the benefits of machine learning to grow our events. We should be incorporating programmatic to scale with channels like connected TV, and we need to start measuring with GA4 today. There's lots in here, and I hope there's something that you can take away and implement. Remember that growth happens outside of your comfort zones, so don't be afraid to rethink and reimagine what's possible, and change doesn't need to mean scary. Thank you, and I'll open to any questions.
Thank you, Asley. I thought that was really interesting. Thankfully, Amy, my marketing manager, is sitting here as well, so diligently writing down notes, which is excellent to see. So thank you for that. I think we learned a lot, and hopefully everyone else did as well. We've got a couple of questions on the board. Before I do that, is there any questions in the room, on the floor, with a raised hand question? Anything? No? Okay, well, while you're thinking of those, we'll start with the first question on here. The classic question, if you've got a limited budget, limited knowledge, which channels should you look at first?
Good question. It probably depends on the context and the objective, I would say. So I am maybe a little bit biased towards Google because that's my bread and butter, but there's obviously great potential in some of the social platforms. So a limited budget, I would recommend you to focus on one platform. And limited knowledge, I mean, it's difficult to say. Both kind of all the platforms kind of have their easier options as well, if that's kind of what you could require. I don't know if anybody wants to maybe grab me at the end, and we can dig into that a little bit deeper. I can help out a little bit more specific if that's possible.
And then second question, the third-party cookies. So I guess with Google 4, you're starting to touch on that.
Yeah.
Do you see those restrictions that are coming as being a threat, or is there an opportunity for event marketers?
Yeah, good question. That's probably quite a popular question. I would say I no longer see it as a threat because it's now more focused around what the cookies were set up for in the first place, which is to, remember your journey as you go on a website and things like that. There's a lot more focus on your first-party data, which is kind of lays into the LinkedIn document ads and kind of your year-round strategy and kind of reaching out to your users and utilising all of your email pools, I would say. But essentially, yeah, there's still lots of options for targeting your users, and the machines are getting smarter to kind of piece those audiences together.
Thank you. Any questions from the floor? No? Thank you, Asley. That was fascinating. Round of applause, please.
Thank you.